So how do we evaluate functions that are given in different representations? So I'm given a graph. I'm given the function f of x in terms of a graph. I'm given the function g of x in terms of a table. And I also wrote it out a couple of different ways. I wrote out the table as a set of ordered pairs. Remember, it's x, y, or in this case, x comma g of x. So the second value is the output of that machine, of that function, and x is the input of that function. And you can even write, and we can even write these points as a list of points like this. So the table's nice, but a list of points is okay, and we can write it this way too. So see how the -1, -4 is exactly the same as the point, which is exactly the same as the table. So we can just use that the same way. So let's go back and do some algebra with this. So do some evaluation of this. So for f of -1, so they want me here. Let me get a pointer going here. So f of -1, so that I come over to -1 on the x, and I go up till I hit the graph, and there's that point that's on the graph, and I see that f, or y, is 3. So this expression here is just 3. Let's see, so that's going to be 3. Let's see if I can write that. Yeah. And now I got to find g of -1. Well, in the table, that's pretty easy. We can see when x equals -1, g or y equals -4. I could see that from the point, and if they give me a list of points like this, I can see when x equals -1, g equals -4, or y, whatever we want to call it. So this is going to be -4. And then, let me come back to this. So that -3 plus 3 plus -4 is -1. And that's this -1 and that -1 is just a fluke. That's just the way it worked out. So that's how you evaluate if they give you a graph and a table and you got to find a function. How about, now here's a function that's in terms, this h of x function is, let me get my pointer back. This h of x function is defined by this formula where we have to square or multiply the x value by itself and then subtract 9. So they're telling me find h of 2. Well, let's see, h of 2 is going to be, h of 2 tells me I'm going to write in, replace the x with a 2 and square it and subtract 9. So 2 squared is 4, minus 9 is -5. And then g of 2, well, let's see, g of 2 is this table, or this set of points. So when x equals 2, g equals 3, or y equals 3. And then f of 2, we go back to this graph. Well, f of 2 is right there, which is 0. Well, actually, pretend that's filled in. Let's make it be filled in. That way you don't have, that way that question doesn't arise. I stole this out of a different textbook. So there. So f of 2 is 0. Now the algebra is supposed to do is add all these together. So -5 plus 3 plus 0 is -2. So that's how we evaluate. Hopefully that helps you figure out how to do that quiz question.